Hey, what's going on out there, YouTube?
What's
SEL0320.
Yo, what's up, YouTube? It's Joe Jackson.
How y'all doing out there?
Hi, y'all.
So we're back for a brand new open review. We went, like we said last week on Friday, we were gonna go see the Ninja Turtles, and ended up selling out. So we saw Into the Storm instead. I appreciate y'all. Yeah, man, it was actually really good. I actually really enjoyed it. Some people actually said that they were like, why do y'all say this is a good movie? Some people hadn't seen it, and then some people, I guess, they saw it and they were like, this is not amazing. And so, I mean, the way that we saw it, that we were really surprised and we really enjoyed the movie. I mean, even like other people I've talked to about it, they actually really enjoyed the suspense and the epicness of the movie. So I appreciate your comments. And I appreciate your open optimism. Like, that's what the whole reason why we want you all to comment, because we like to hear y'all's insight on it.
Most definitely.
But definitely, like, we enjoyed it for the most part, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we went and saw the Ninja Turtles, finally, on Sunday. And I went into the movie with very low expectations. I told Joe, I was like, dude, we cannot go in there thinking this is just like the old one, or trying to compare it, or try to make it feel like, okay, how can it live up to this epicness such as this? Well, maybe not the third one, but at least the first two. And so we get to the movie, and off the gate, what was your first impression going into the movie, Joe? Because I think the first thing we see is, I think, an introduction of the Shredder, and introduction of the Turtles. What was your first feeling, I guess, about it?
Let's see. Firstly, you know what I'm saying, going to the movie, the opening scene is like an animation, which was done very well.
Yeah.
It was done very well. So going into the movie, you know, I was thinking, based off the animation, I was like, okay, so this is serious. Like, people spent a lot of time in this, and it really intrigued me because it was like, they're willing to spend this much time just in the intro animation. Clearly, the CG has to be good. Yeah. So.
And I mean, for me, like, I was thinking, I mean, he was talking about the opening sequences, but I just felt like the tone of it was different and contrary to what everybody was describing it for me. When they first started formulating the idea of what this turtle movie was going to be about, directed or helped out by Michael Bay, they were saying there's going to be alien turtles. They said that it was going to be like, all these different kind of changes to the mythology, but at its core, it kept to the foundations of who the turtles are. The difference is the origin story changes and shifts more towards Megan Fox's character as April O'Neil. And I'll read the synopsis of it. A group of mutant warriors face off against an evil kingpin who wants to take over New York. Very simple, very fleshed out. But the CG all was very well done. I mean, every fight sequence, every time the turtles were on scene, it didn't feel like they weren't there. They didn't feel really like CG characters. You could tell the motion capture was there, and you could tell that it was acted very well. And I mean, to me, I feel like that is a part of the immersion of the visual effects experience. Like, you can say a person does great acting, but you also have to know that they're doing the motion capture, they're doing the movements, and at the same time they might have to have a double, and then they have to feed off of that with their voice. And I think that they did a really good job with the turtles and centralizing them. And even the effects with Master Splinter, I thought that was really good effects as well. But when the Shredder shows up, like, I didn't know functionally how this CG was gonna work for him working in this suit and in the fight sequences he was, but it worked very well. They was choreographed very well, and even the music was actually really upbeat and really funny, and it really intrigued us. And I mean, that was one of the things about the original one that I really liked. We just got done looking at the original one. I mean, it's a classic. I mean, Joe was like, I don't know if I can go back and look at it, and we enjoyed it, looking at it again. And a big part of that was immersing you into the culture and the time frame and the music with that. And it's the same thing with this one, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, for me, the visual effects and the audio, I'd probably give it like maybe 8 out of 10. I actually really enjoyed the audio and the visual effects. What about you? If you could give it a score.
Yeah, I'll have to give it a good score. I can't really, if I were to give it a number, I'd say probably maybe for both the audio and the visuals, man, probably 8 or 9. But for the visuals, man, definitely I'll give it a 9. Give it a 9. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. This is who plays Splinter. Okay, we're gonna go and segue into who the actors are. The actors did a really good job keeping centralized to who the characters were. Now, you've got Megan Fox, who's playing April O'Neil. Believe it or not, y'all, she actually does a good job as April O'Neil.
Yeah,
I felt like the only weak part of her story in this was her roommate. Her roommate did not have to be there at all. In my opinion, I felt like it was like, why even add this extra character into it? But she also had characters such as Will Arnett, who's playing, I think, Vernon, as I think he's her camera guy, unofficial camera guy. You got Will Fincher. He plays one of April's, I guess, past relatable people. He's a really big business person, but he plays a really good intricate part of the story. He does a good job as well. But everything else after that point, it really all centralizes on the Turtles. And I don't know, we haven't gone through who the actors are, but I remember Alan Richardson, and he played Aquaman in the show Smallville that I love. And he did a really good job as Raphael. Like, he was one of my favorites of all of them. And normally I'm a Leonardo guy, maybe a Donatello guy, but I'm never Raphael because he's got a hot head and he's impatient and he always does stuff out of character. It's really intriguing battle between him and Leo all the time. But I really loved how they fleshed out his character in it. Even though he didn't have that much screen presence, he kind of did, you know what I'm saying? But I guess, what stood out for you as far as the actors are concerned?
I would say Megan Fox's role. I think, she's been kind of like labeled and stereotyped as, you know what I'm saying, just for her looks, you know? But after her role in this movie, I was like, okay, she's a pretty good actor, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe people won't agree with me there, but I mean, versus from what I've seen in the past, she's definitely, I've taken her more serious than I have versus other roles she's played as an actor, you know what I'm saying? So I think I liked her role. Not only that, but as you said, like Raphael, you know, that the character was awesome.
Yeah.
Another character that probably stuck out to me was
The Shredder.
The Shredder, definitely. The Shredder, definitely.
Yeah, the actor's name is, sorry if I butchered this, y'all, but Tohoru Masasuni. This dude, he was legit. I mean, even his voice carried and resonated like the original one, but this dude had the physical prowess to take them all down.
Yeah.
Without even the suit at all. And that was the thing that, like, we were like, man, how are they gonna beat this dude? Yeah. Like, he was legit. And a lot of people had speculated that Fincher was gonna be the Shredder, and he wasn't. So that's the only thing I'll spoil for you. There is a legitimate Shredder in this one, if y'all have not seen it yet. But believe it or not, the thing that cracks me up about this is that Johnny Knoxville plays Leonardo. And Danny Woodburn, who's in a lot of movies, plays a little bit shorter character. He plays Splinter. But it's between him and Tony Shalhoub. Tony Shalhoub was Monk. You remember the show Monk on USA?
Yeah.
He plays, I think, the voice of Splinter at some points as well. So it's two different people playing it, which I thought that was really interesting. But like I said, I mean, there are weaker characters in this. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, Whoopi Goldberg's character, I really didn't like her character. She was just kind of there. I actually enjoyed the police chief and even like April O'Neil's boss in the original one more so than I did in this one. It felt like her whole new staff was just obnoxious and I didn't like them really. But the Turtles, I felt like they were handled very well. Even the villain was handled very well. It was just everything on the outside. So for me, I'd have to give it maybe like a low 6, if not maybe a 7 at most. As far as the acting, probably a 6. What about you as far as the acting is concerned?
Yeah, I agree with you. It's probably around a 6. Yeah. No worries, obviously.
But the thing about this one, y'all, and so we can go ahead and try to cut it short. The storyline revolves very heavily around April O'Neil's character. They've interwoven her storyline with the Turtles in a very specific way. And if you take it to heart value, you're gonna not like it. You're not gonna like or represent the movie at all, because it doesn't follow the lines of not necessarily the cartoon or the older movies. This is an adaptation of it. But for it to fit in the mode of this day and time, it might not be that that's so practical of how the original is. And so the way that they carry her story, it makes it more intriguing, quite honestly. And it shows that there's more meat to April O'Neil and the destiny with these turtles. It's like it was fated to an extent, the way that they did the storyline for it. And so I actually like the change of it. And at the same time, I like that they had no idea what their true potential was. The way that they were conceived even is a secret too. Like, it's not just they were mutant turtles. Like, there's more to it than that. And I actually really like that. So that leaves something more for us to like think about later on. You know what I'm saying? But what about you? What did you think about the story? And then I guess we can close out.
One thing about the story, I enjoy the story as far as how they interwoven April O'Neil kind of did a new thing with that. I enjoyed that. Now, as far as the Shredder, they could take this series into a lot of different directions. But as far as the Shredder's actual motivation, I feel like they didn't really explain that well. He definitely wanted to take control over New York, you know, but you know, Shredder in the past, and it kind of hints in this movie, Shredder, he wants to build a dynasty, like a clan of pretty much warriors, you know, that's undisputed. You know what I'm saying? He craves power, and he's gonna do it through his organization. But as far as him co-oping with some other characters in the story, you don't really see like his independence as far as how exactly he's gonna take over the city. Yeah. Now, granted, they could take this in many different directions, but also I kind of as far as like the whole movie goes, I kind of would like to see a different Master Splinter, because based off, you know, the old movies, you know, one thing that made Master Splinter so cool was his wisdom and his quotes. You know what I mean? I feel like he didn't have that many powerful lines.
He had like only a few.
Yeah, he only had a few.
But then he didn't have that much screen presence as he did in the original one either.
Yeah, so yeah.
I mean, it's like going back to the original one that we loved so much, is that there was a point when Master Splinter got taken. I'm not saying that's going to happen in this one, but in the original one, he gets taken and captive, and they have to take a point where they're meditating because they're just so worried about him, and they get like a visual of Master Splinter there, and it shows like he carries weight for them to move. And even if he's not there, like, he's with them, you know, his wisdom is there, and you can hear it through the dialogue, and you can feel it in the presence. And even like the turtles, that they are done through puppet animation, like you can see the tears coming down, and it's real. And I mean, there are the turtles in this one, they act very well as well, but it's like with Master Splinter, like, he isn't given a lot, like Joe said. Now, that's not to say they're not gonna meet him out later on. I think that he probably is, but yeah, there's a lot to grow on with this one. So I guess with the story, for me, I'd probably give the story maybe a 6.5, a 7. So all around, I'd probably give the movie, I guess you can put it all full force, I would say maybe like a 7.5, if not a 7. I guess like, that'd be my average. What about you for, I guess, the story, and then just as a whole, what would you give the movie?
I give the movie 8. I give the story by itself 7.
Okay. But yeah, hopefully y'all enjoyed this. We enjoyed it. We enjoyed the movie. I had low expectations of it. And I mean, I definitely look at it again. I'll probably buy it. I really want to go back through all the originals, and I might even go buy the CG one, TMNT. That actually, I really like that one. I wish they would continue that one, but that's a whole nother story. Definitely wanted to give a shout out to roll credits. Adele, congratulations on getting, I think, over 3,000 subscribers overnight. She did, it was so amazing. I think that Stuckman, he's one of the major, Chris Stuckman, he's one of the major reviewers, and he gave her a shout out. And I mean, it was rightfully so. Like, she's very intellectual, she's very on point, she always stayed current on the newest films. She goes out every night going to the film festivals, and at the same time keeping her centralization of what she has to do on a regular basis. And so I commend you. Definitely congratulations on all the new subscribers. But yeah, I'm done for the night, man. You got any shout outs?
Yeah. Shout out to London City Girl TV. Check out her channel. She got some good stuff up there. Good ideas, you know, good movie related what I'm gonna say, parallels she draws. So go check out her thoughts. Check out her channel.
Yeah. And I think actually for Adele, like, it's youtube.com/hello roll credits. And so definitely go check her out. And definitely go check out London City Girl. She's really awesome as well. Right. But yeah, we're heading out. Gotta go to sleep. Gotta go to work in the morning. Y'all have a blessed one.
Yeah.
Peace be to y'all. Oh, and this is gonna be a little heartfelt. Today Robin Williams died. I'm not gonna talk about why or how, but this man was a legend. I mean, Jumanji, Flubber, Good Will Hunting, Aladdin, Miss Doubtfire. I mean, Hook. I could go on and on. This man was a comedic genius. Mork and Mindy was the first time I actually even saw him, and I fell in love with him. So rest in peace. Our prayers go out to you and your family. And I mean, I just have to go out on silence for that, man. That was my boy. Much heart to Robin Williams. Y'all have a blessed one. Have a good night.